Okay, we're out here again. We're armed with the apparently rainbow poster board and some scissors and the old Sharpie. Fine point they call it. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna go inside the cab here, and we're gonna start adding pieces to that, skeleton I made. We're just gonna do one piece at a time, but we really need to come in and do the inside section first, these inside pieces, and then work our way out. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna copy that on the steel and make this work and finish the dash out. I hope to get one side done today, and we'll see about the other side. So I've taken a piece of poster board and I put it up in here and marked it. I'll work my way from the center out because that's the hardest one. Gonna be the hardest one to weld, especially with me wanting. I need to weld the back side of this one because I want it to be pronounced like that, all the way out. So we got our first shape there to cut with the scissors and then transfer on the steel, and we'll get it tacked into there and welded, and then we'll move in. We'll do that piece too. We want to do all this together right now. That way, when it welds, it warps. So it's it keeps the warp shape as the same between this piece and that piece. Alright, so we did some arts and crafts stuff, and we marked this out on a piece of sheet metal. And I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to take it over to the threadless shear and shear this out. You can just use a grinder with a cutoff wheel, but Chinese make threadless shears. You got to do some work to get it to work, but after you get the blades distance right, a little Chinese threadless shear works pretty good. So we're going to get this piece cut out and tacked in. Alright, so I've got it over here to the threadless shear, and I'm just going to cut the pattern out. And I get the pattern cut out, I'll buff it with a wheel, and then we'll get it tacked in there. Alright, so that piece is tacked in. Now we'll go ahead and just weld that in and finish it out, and then we'll move to the next inside piece, and then we'll move to that piece. I probably won't show you every piece other than maybe like a little snapshot, but it's pretty simple. It's not hard to do. Alright, so I got that piece welded in there. Now we'll go ahead and grind that one. And you see how the round bar leaves me a nice edge, and this round bar will leave me a nice edge to flow. That's the whole point of this. I mean, if you was just a bend sheet metal, you'll never get the dimensions that I'm, 3 dimensions that I'm going to get out of this. So we're going to shape that out with a grinder, and then we'll do the next inside piece, and we'll walk our way out. Alright, so we got that piece welded in now. You see how that's going to follow all the way into the dash. So what we'll do is, so that had to be welded on the back side. It doesn't have to be prettied up or anything, but because it drops back behind the other bar to get that look that was in the dash. The reason why we need to put these in first. So now that I got that one in, I'm going to go put these in. I'm going to work my way out until I have all these pieces made. So it's the same thing again. Poster board, marker. We'll end up with a little piece. And we'll put it in there. A little trimming with the scissors. we got the piece there ready to be transferred on the metal. And you see how the round bar works. Alright, so I got the next piece welded in. Now I'll go and do this piece here. Alright, so the next plate's welded in. We're slowly building the welding in here. Alright, I'll get this ground and then, you know, same thing. Template, sheet metal, weld, grind. Template, sheet metal, weld, grind. Pretty boring. Alright, we'll keep going. Alright, so that piece has been welded in the ground. So we're slowly getting this little weldment done. So we're going to jump down here on the bottom and finish this. The top piece will be the last piece done. Alright, I went ahead and made a little section for a bolt. You know, I welded a plate. Light screwing everything up in it. So I welded a plate. There'll be a hole drilled in right there. It's a full box that I made. So there'll be a hole with a single bolt that will hold that on right there. And we'll plate the rest, and then up front there'll be you know, a plate that goes in, and these two bolts will be seen. But I think that's going to be the cleanest way to do it. Just have one bolt hold it underneath, and we'll go from there. Alright, just making both support pieces and transferring the metal still. So there's the next template cut out. We'll get that on some metal now. Alright, so that piece is welded in, so I'll grind it and then go on to the next piece there. Alright, so there's the next template cut. And we'll go in there and put it in some metal. And then I got a little bit of a trick to make this go from rounded there into curved. So we're going to do that. Alright, so we got to make a curve like this into another curve. I turned this piece of nylon out on a lathe, and that's just a rubber bumper for a hammer. So, but it's just an arbor press, and you come in here and you just stretch the metal. It'll take me a little while to, you know, form it this way, but it'll give me that curve on the dash, and I'll just stretch it until I get that compound edge done. And then so this is a post that I made with a bowling ball, and I drill and tap the bowling ball for a 3/4 inch bolt, and then allows me to come use this like an anvil, and I'll be able to tap this around and form my shape. I won't bore you with the long drawn out process, but on the same stand I got a shrinker and a stretcher. So with this whole little setup here, I can cut it and beat it around till I'll get that shape. So it'll take me a little while, but I'll show you when it's done. Alright, so that piece is in now, and I've made the template, and I got this piece tacked on, and then the last piece will be next. But we'll weld this and grind this now. Alright, I got the last template laid out here. I'm gonna move it over onto some steel, and then alright, so I got the driver's side all welded up here, and we're ready to move over and weld that passenger side up. So one down, one to go, and then I can make the lower mounts and there's a round bar that's got to go all the way across that bottom edge since I cut that out. And you know, I got a one bolt there, and then I'll have 2 bolts in the front. So lot still to do. So all right, I'm done for the day. Come back and do that one tomorrow. Alright, I saved you the boringness of watching the second one be done, but so this is the passenger side finished. So I'm gonna put 1 bolt right here, and then there'll be a plate that goes down. I'll have 2 bolts to hold this on, and it'll swing out with the door. And then I gotta make a lower bracket still. I go down, grab the bottom of the dash, and then I'm gonna pull. I gotta build a console, so I'm gonna come up and probably grab hold of that body line for the console. So hell, this whole center part that I welded in might get cut out, and let the console flow down. And there's the other side. So it's coming along. I think it looks pretty good. It definitely looks good when you look in it like this. So, and it wraps around you when you're inside there. So I got it all welded across the heater box, good enough. I can fiberglass it. And then this is a USB port, and I've took a couple sheet washers and did some work on the lathe. I'm gonna weld a couple bolts off of it into another sheet washer. Anyway, that inside washer drops in there and centers it in that hole. And it's got a voltmeter in it and 2 USB ports. I might end up changing that out. The guy told me about a Fratzog symbol, and I got one coming. So I might just glue that Fratzog plastic emblem on there instead of that. Maybe move this over there to the other side. But yeah, this will get bolted to the door. I gotta make the bottom. Now I'm ready to start working on the console. Now this is what it looks like from the driver's side. I got the look that I wanted. So, alright. I hope you like this sort of thing. Have a nice day.